Stand by to stand by. Stand by to stand by.
Welcome to Stand By, one of the only bi-weekly podcasts to actually come out every several months. I'm Stephen Covey, still putting them out late and starting the show with excuses and broken promises. I will probably be changing this thing to bi-monthly, because bi-monthly could mean twice a month, which is what I was shooting for originally with the bi-weekly. But bi-monthly could mean twice a month, or it could mean every 2 months. And that kind of falls into more realistic realms of possibility for what I'm able to actually pull off here. To dream the impossible dream. Get these things happening on a routine. Yeah, and there's even less excuse than usual today, as this is the second half of a two-parter, which is a failure on my part. And another failure on my part is the mispronunciation of Sam's last name. I have completely butchered his last name, and I'm not even going to try to do it again. It is a French last name full of vowels and is not only very difficult for me to pronounce, but I didn't even know the correct pronunciation leading into it. So here I have Sam in a rough recording saying it himself. Take it, Sam.
Hi guys, my name is Sam Deshauteurs.
See? And yeah, that's his last name. That's how you pronounce Deshauteurs. I mean, all right, you tell me. Am I completely at fault here for mispronouncing it? I mean, yes, the answer is still yes. Yeah, I should have really asked and worked on it and got clarified with him. So yes, I am still at fault, but even having heard the name now and knowing how it's pronounced, I still can't do it properly without dropping into a bad French accent and twirling a fake mustache. Sam, if you're listening to this, buddy, I am very sorry. All right. Today's story, if I haven't made it clear already, today's story is a singular story. We are at the tail end of this week, which is the anniversary week, the 7-year anniversary of what is the deadliest mass shooting by a lone gunman in American history. And unfortunately, this shooting took place at a live event, at what we do, at our place of employment, at our, home away from home. And Sam was there. Sam was there for the whole week leading up to this event. And he's going to tell us about it here. And know that going in, that this is a not graphic, but a detailed retelling of a mass shooting. So heed this warning that that's what this next 45 minutes or so is about. It's an interesting story, and I really think everyone should listen to it. And again, it is not overly graphic or anything like that. That is not the reason to not listen to it. But if you or someone you know was at this event or have had to live through something similar, then I can understand why this might not be for you. But it's an important story. It's a singular story. And I think it's a story that needs to be told. And that's what we're going to do here today. And I'm going to stop talking and we're going to get to it now. This is my friend Sam and his experience in 2017 at the Harvest Music Festival. And thank you all for your, joining me for this. And I will, let's listen to it. Let's hear what he's, let's hear this. Let's hear it. And I will see you guys on the other side of it.
Stand by to stand by. Stand by to stand by.
It's funny because it is a hard thing to get the stories out of because we do so many shows.
Yes, we do.
If you try to put a number to it, it's
I can even count. Do you know how many shows you've done, Kobe?
No. I tried to do the math just on Nutcrackers, and that was the crazy number that scared me. Or I don't know if it scared me, but it was like, it was eye-opening.
That's insane.
Then you think of all the different shows you've done. It's hard to kind of isolate moments unless something really stands out or it's like a story you tell. But I know a story of yours, man, that stands out.
Yes, and that's something that unfortunately everybody in the industry learned about. October 1st, 2017, my man.
It was that long ago already.
2017, October 1st, a day I will never forget.
How could you?
It was the Las Vegas Route 91 Harvest shooting.
One of the worst mass shootings ever.
I think the biggest, I believe, to this day. Yeah.
To even be associated with it in any kind of way is crazy.
It's a day that, you know what I mean, like, I don't know where to start with this.
We'll start kind of easy. So you're going out there. It's a show that like any other. It's a
festival in Vegas.
Does anything stand out as different? No, right?
No, it was one of those big festivals.
Festival.
Like
you've been doing festivals.
You know, like I've been doing festivals for years.
Right.
By now, you know, they're flying me out to Vegas to do this thing with that company I was working with at the time, and everything is going well. The festival like was already going for like 3-4 days.
Right. So as far as you, everything's up and running.
Everything's up. I'm here babysitting. I'm here making sure that local bands are being, you know, like that the show file is working. You know what I mean? Because you have to use the festival rig.
You're there in what capacity?
I was the master electrician.
You were the master electrician?
Yes. Yeah, so I was making sure that everything was talking, everything was happy, front of house and backstage and whatnot with the rest of my crew.
Which should have been it.
And that was the last day. It was the last day, my dude. We were loading out that night.
Right. You're waiting for the loadout.
You know,
we were,
you know, I was stage left at that point. You know, I mean, like the show was already on the way. And as everybody, you know, like know, but at that time that, you know, I mean, like that guy started shooting was at the time where I was stage left with one of my pal from the crew. And then we heard those fireworks sounds.
Unexpected kind of.
I was like,
and you're thinking fireworks.
And I was like,
you hear that
hold on, I'm looking at my watch. You know, I mean, like it's just got dark. You know, I mean, like Jason Aldean was the artist that was on stage. He was the headliner, but it was like,
but it got your attention right away.
Yeah, it was like that's too soon. You know, what I mean, like fireworks is at the end. You know, what I mean, like.
You're just thinking like missed cue. Like if somebody missed their cue.
It could have been a mishap.
Someone just missed their
that's
cue.
too soon. There was fireworks scheduled.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
There actually were fireworks scheduled.
Yes, there was fireworks scheduled. You know, like going on for 30 seconds. And I'm like, I'm looking at my buddy over there. I was like, it's too soon. What's going on? What's going on? You know what I mean? And that's when
You can say it, man. I mean, I hate to make you relive it or whatever.
No, it's okay because you know, like I'm not gonna lie. I've been reliving this for years on to a point that I had to get some help coping with this. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I mean,
dude, yeah. I mean, it's a PTSD scenario.
Yes, absolutely. Because being so close to it and witnessing the carnage, because there was no other words. The carnage is one thing when you hear about a shooting, even if you're present near a shooting, just being in the neighborhood, but you can actually see people get shot.
Is that when you first realized that it was not fireworks? That's when I realized
that it was no joke.
It wasn't just you didn't figure it out from the sounds or whatever.
No, that's when I saw people get shot, and then I saw firsthand what those bullets did to people.
Horrible.
You know what I mean?
No one should see that, right? I mean, it's
that's something that took me a while to be okay thinking about.
Because you're never going to unsee it.
Yeah, no, that's engraved in my head.
Man.
That's engraved in my head. You know what I mean? That's engraved in my head. On the show side, people are having fun and
right. Everyone's enjoying themselves. It's the last day of the festival. You know, like, it's all good. Everything's going great.
It was it was the
I can't even imagine.
The end. It was the how do you say this? Like the culmination of that week-long festival. It was like the, you know what I mean? Like that's what people came. That's what people came to see.
Right. This is the big name at the end.
Yeah.
This is the big.
And that moment where we realized that it was serious and the people were getting, like shot. I'm talking about 20 feet away from you, dude.
You're looking directly at him.
I was
it wasn't
stage
your
left.
peripheral. You're looking.
I was stage left, looking at downstage, like on a barricade, people getting...
Like how far from you? 20 feet? 50 feet?
25 feet.
Me.
You know what I mean? Like I was mid-stage left. You know what I mean? Right about where, think about the mixing position for audio is. To the barricades downstage.
Oh, yeah. Right.
On the floor.
Not very far at all.
25 feet.
Yeah.
You know?
And people everywhere, right? It's full. There's people everywhere.
There was like 19 to 20,000 people on that crowd, that night.
It's fucking
and that's when me and my buddy, we were like not knowing where it was coming from, which was the worst part.
Right. No one did, right? Because it's echoing off the building.
It was coming. We didn't know where.
All
it was
you know
coming
is you're
from.
hearing sound and you're seeing what you're seeing.
And the sound and the the delay from the bullet traveling. You know what I mean? Like it was so disorienting. That you would not know. You hear taka taka taka. You try to look around and then you look at the crowd and then people are getting fucking. Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
So that's when me and my buddy had the reflex to jump off the stage. Was like, I think it was like 6 to 8 foot high, stage, down to actually take cover under the stage.
How long do you think that was? It could have been
10
anything,
seconds,
right? Quick.
10 seconds.
Okay. Once you start seeing what's happening,
when I saw
it's fucking real.
things that I cannot describe, right now.
It's so intense.
Yeah, because
you don't need to describe
it was as graphic as you can imagine.
I don't want to imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
So when that was seen, like from 20 feet away, you know what I mean? Where it was like, okay, we gotta,
This is what's happening.
And so we get onto the deck and the shooter at the time, so we hear again, and then we hear it so loud that we realize that we were being shot from on top. So the deck that was above us,
which is not a bulletproof deck.
3/4 plywood.
That's it.
3/4 plywood. Bullets went through. Thankfully, like we didn't get hit.
You just happened to be in a safe spot
at the end,
unknowingly.
Well, I was behind. We were behind a concrete block. That was the ballast for the towers that would miss stage. To take to ballast the verticals for the roof.
So like weight load supporting.
Exactly. It was like those big ass concrete blocks.
But you're hoping that you are on the right side of it. Because again, you're not sure.
We didn't know where it was coming from. All we could hear like, and I'm talking those streams of bullets were going for over 30 seconds at a time.
Oh yeah, that's.
You know what I mean? It was not like 1, 2, 3 shots. It was like.
It must feel like it's coming from everywhere. Like you
don't know. You don't know. You don't know. For 30 seconds at a time, to a point that you're thinking that it can't be one person. It's got to be multiple.
Right. This is an attack, like a coordinated attack.
It's got to be multiple people. You know what I mean? And only with like, I want to say,
it's so
10 to 15 seconds of. Now we don't reload time,
right, but it just gets quiet,
and not quiet because the crowd is screaming. So imagine this. I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it.
Too.
Like you under the deck, but you can still see the barricades and the people.
You did have line of sight still.
Yes, we still could see everything, and then what you could see, from down there, is the tsunami of people. Trying to jump over the barricade to actually take cover somewhere.
They're all looking for safety too.
So they're trying to jump the barricade and get under the deck.
Any way they can.
But what kept on happening, which was the worst part to me,
man.
you know what I mean, is that that shooter kept alternating between the stage and the crowd.
So there's no safe. You don't know where.
There was nowhere to be safe.
You know what I mean? You think you know where it's not going to be, and it's there.
There was no way. Like people got shot all the way to like Faro Spot Towers, front of house. People got shot from everywhere.
And it must have been close to you at that point too, right? I mean, you're in fear for your life, like everybody is. Everybody is. That was
that time, Steve, that I really thought that I would not make it out. Because there was no way. There was no way.
It kept going and going.
And I was down there with my buddy. I was down there with my buddy for a good 45 minutes.
I'm so glad you had a friend down there too, though.
Yes.
I'm so glad you were like,
it was, you know what I mean? Like, and I was trying to, at that point, and that was one of the most heartbreaking things that I've ever had to endure, is that dude, that stranger, a complete stranger that make it from barricade, got separated from his daughter.
Yeah.
And he was, that was the hardest part, dude. That was the hardest part. Like that
to watch that happen. Did you see the daughter?
I don't want to ask to this day. I do not know what happened to his daughter.
How'd you know he was? How did you know? How'd you know he was separated from his daughter?
Because he told me it was right next to. He made it past, but his daughter didn't make it with him, and it was such a rush of people that he couldn't get out and go back to his daughter.
He was telling you this?
Yes. And he was freaking out, dude. He was freaking out, and then we got separated because he went back out there, and I still don't know what happened to him. I don't know. I do not know.
Oh, it's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So that's something that I'm gonna keep with me forever. Unfortunately.
So much of that.
Yeah.
And again, you're just at work. You're just doing your job.
I'm just at work.
It should just be like another time.
And then I tried.
It goes on for so long, right?
Yes, 45 minutes, dude. That's a long fucking time. I mean, not 45 minutes of shooting, but to a point that we couldn't move.
Right, because you don't know.
You don't
How do you know it's over?
What the fuck is going on until I could hear personally the final shot where now we know was where he took his own life. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking about that guy was over, like it was 3/4 of a mile away.
Oh my God.
From that far away.
What is even going through the mind? I mean, I don't even know what's going through the minds of the audience at that point. Like,
it was complete chaos. Yeah, complete chaos, complete shock. The agony of people looking at their loved ones. You know what I mean? Like,
dude,
60 people were dead,
and countless others injured. I'm sure
over 600 people injured with bullet wounds, and you know what I mean, not dead but injured. I mean, plus. Think about the people trampling each other, trying to get out.
That's insane. The panic, the chaos, the
jump the fences. You know what I mean? Like it was crazy, dude.
I can't even.
And that was that time where I tried to reach my my partner at the time, my mother. Impossible to make a phone call.
Right, because everyone's doing that.
Impossible.
Right? Yeah. Everyone's trying to reach out like this is it.
Yeah.
So you were like in a plane crash scenario, basically, of like, let me make these calls because this might be it.
This is it. You know, that's where I was.
I mean, what you've seen and how long it went on for and how close to the shit you are, it's terrifying. I was so horrified when I heard, like, obviously like the rest of everybody, when I heard about this. Then when I heard almost immediately, maybe that same day, that you were there, I knew I needed to talk to you then. And you told me some of this. I knew it was hard for you then, but like, it's so traumatic and so singular and so unnecessary. You know, of all the stories that we can have and things that can happen, like that's one that shouldn't. It is horrifyingly unique. And I guess that's something, but it's such a hard one for me now because I want to ask you details, kind of, but not really. It's horrible, and that's all that matters.
It's okay for me to talk about it now. I'm not gonna lie. It took me a while.
I don't even know if I want to hear it.
Yeah, because it's
putting me there. I'm sweating. I feel
not pretty.
it. I don't like it.
It's really not pretty.
I can picture it. And I can't picture it. You know?
Yeah.
And you're behind this column the whole time, right? You're not moving. How do you move? What are you going to do?
I can't.
There's nothing. There's no aid you can perform. There's nothing you can do.
You feel bullets go through the deck above you, just like you're a fish in a barrel. You know what I mean? Like what you can't do.
Right. There's no anything. Fighting back. There's no stopping it.
And you don't know where it's coming from.
You still don't know where it's coming from.
You cannot even pick a direction to flee.
And as bad as the carnage was, I'm sure you were expecting even worse. Like you don't know how bad it was, but from just what you've seen,
just what I saw with my own eyes,
everybody
thinking that
you think no one's left.
And
God,
trust me, like it was so, you know what I mean? Like I've watched movies, I've watched, you know what I mean, like science fiction. I would have never thought that one man with one gun can shoot that many bullets.
And it's just so indiscriminate. It's not a jealous lover. It's not an angry worker. It's just some fucking madman trying to cause as much damage as possible.
Dude, it's
so heartless.
To give you an idea of how, like those bullets were traveling and how fast.
Mm-hmm.
One of my coworkers was actually at front of house, hanging out, just watching the show from front of house.
Oh, not even mixing, just there, right? Just at the spot in the position. It's typically the best spot to be.
Just to watch the show.
Should be the best spot.
It was after the fact after hours and hours, that we were able to leave the place, escorted by police.
Because there's a full investigation going on, right?
Yes,
I mean,
I lost my bag, I lost my laptop, everything was gone, but he managed to grab his Pelican case. For your viewers or your listeners, Pelican case is something that we put a hard, sturdy case where we put our important equipment.
Yeah,
anything,
any equipment, right.
But it's pretty sturdy, like it's almost indestructible.
Right. Use it for travel. You don't have to worry about them throwing it.
You can throw it. You can do whatever. So it's like really hardened plastic.
Like a legit Pelican, not an imitation
the real
Pelican.
stuff,
brand name
professional,
Pelican.
Thick.
It's expensive.
Expensive as fuck. Like the best you can get.
You never see a dented Pelican.
No.
Never.
No.
Never do.
So he managed to grab that Pelican. I lost everything because we had to leave.
Go.
Right?
Yeah.
He managed to grab his Pelican. And I'm talking about hours and hours and hours later after we were...
And you're just still there?
Yeah, we can't move. We can't move. We don't know how many guys. We don't know who did it. Until they found that guy in that hotel room, and everything stopped. And then when we get...
It's torture, though, man, to keep you down there. I can't imagine the sounds and smells and people
and then
hurt.
You see people, and then you see people crying. And
you're there.
And you
have to stay there.
And you watch it. And you have no choice but watch.
Are you just like disconnected at that point? Is it just, it can't be, right? You can't be processing it as this is real until way later.
You're like, this is a nightmare. I'm going to wake up. This is not true.
Nightmare.
This is not true. This is not real.
Right. It can't be. Nothing like this happens. These things don't happen.
Yeah.
You didn't sign up for this.
Bro.
No one did.
Yeah.
Holy shit. So he grabs his Pelican.
He grabbed his Pelican. We managed to reunite.
Yeah.
Because the tech crew, he couldn't go back on stage, so we were escorted, and we, by luck, able to see each other. Be like, hey, because of no phones and nothing, we couldn't text.
Communication.
We just happened to find each other. Be like, okay, here's the evacuation route, and then we by miracle, I'm telling you, over this sea of people that were still left, because everybody tried to flee, but we found each other. You know what I mean? We hug each other.
Oh, damn it.
We cry.
Yeah.
You
can finally release.
We're
a little.
We know that we're alive. You know what I mean? So we cry and we hug each other. And
everybody on the crew was okay?
No, one didn't make it.
Fuck, man. God damn it.
So we go to back to the street, to the hotel. And the whole point of that story is when we got to the hotel the next day in the morning, and we were in a hotel that was actually overlooking the site. So we could still see the police, FBI.
Just constant reminders.
It was right in front of our hotel, like those Vegas, the high skyscrapers. You can see everything, and turns out that our hotel was,
of course,
right there.
Which would have been great. Typically, to be able to look over your job site and a festival you're working on, you could look over it. That's
but
nice.
not in that setting.
Now the nightmare's not ending.
No, because you could see all the white sheets, and
How long before you slept?
I haven't slept like 48 hours. And we were even like my boss at the time, like our CEO of the company, were trying to get us on a flight back like right away.
Get you out of there.
Get us out of there.
Yeah. I'm sure you wanted nothing more than just to get out of there.
Oh, we wanted to get out of there.
Get me out of here.
We were not able to.
I know.
We're not able to. The airport got affected by one bullet hit one of the fuel containers, because the airport was right there too.
Jesus Christ,
so
this guy.
Flights were halted. We were not able to, and mind you, like completely out of the realm of things that were important. We were supposed to load out that night.
Oh, right. The loadout. What about the loadout?
What about the gear? What about the $1 million? But fuck that. You know what I mean? Like nobody could. So we were like, we want to get out of there. We were, screw the gear. They can have it all.
Yeah.
Keep
it. Just get me out of here.
Millions of dollars. We're like, you know what? I want out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Enough.
And
End this nightmare.
Yes.
End it,
yes.
please.
But
it doesn't end.
Where I was going at
know,
is that to show you that I'm being sidetracked. I'm sorry.
I know. So I'm sidetracking you too, man. There's so many things going on here.
We are looking at this pelican and we're like, what is that scratch on the top of the pelican? And we're like, I don't know, like, it must be a commotion. And then we end up opening the pelican and there are 2 bullets inside the pelican case. And we were like, how in the world? Because the pelican...
You're not seeing the holes?
We're not seeing a hole. So it's to show you that the bullet was so fast and so hot.
Even from that distance.
From that distance, 3/4 of a mile away, that it managed to melt the plastic. And it was so hot, it sealed itself back up into shape where it looked like a scratch.
It just looked like
a scratch.
Yeah, just normal scratch.
There was 2 bullets in there.
It had gone through.
That went through.
So hot.
So hot that it sealed itself.
That it oh my God. Did he keep it? Did he throw it away? What did he do with that?
He still got it to this day.
It's a weird memento, man.
Got him, yeah.
It's a weird.
And they were bullets like as big as a quarter. So imagine what that did to somebody's face.
I know. It's such high power horror. It's high.
Yeah, it was.
I'm at a loss for words on it of just how bad it really is.
It was.
It's so intense.
It was.
A guy firing indiscriminately with a revolver is terrible. A guy with those caliber of weapons at almost what seemed endless to where it's doing that from that distance. I don't even know what that looks like when you put a person in front of it.
I do.
I wish.
And I wish I would have seen that.
I'm so sorry.
But again, I'm okay talking about it now.
I appreciate it.
It took me years to.
It's quite a story.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
is.
If nothing else.
It is. And you're like you think like. I'm going to work. I'm doing my stuff. I'm doing my craft. We're entertaining. We're making sure people are entertained. And after that, like being in a crowd settings, it was rough. Like going back to even like a theater, those festivals, like you're talking upwards of 80,000 people, even going to a theater, the art center is like what, how many? Like
2,400 maybe?
25, 3,000, did a crowd compared to, like
still seems like a lot of people.
You start looking at exits. You start looking at where you can hide. You start looking at, okay, if this happens, where do I go?
What a shitty, horrible, crazy thing to have to add to your checklist.
Yes. Yes. To a point that even when I was programming or doing lighting, what do I do? Do I black out or do I make everything white so people can see where to go?
Right. What's the safer move?
What's the good move?
Right. It almost depends on so much.
If it's bright, you can see where to shoot.
Right.
If it's black, you cannot see, but everybody will trample each other. No one
can see.
Yeah.
Dude, there was that theater, I think in France. Remember that shooting? Did you know that story? Mm-hmm. I heard an interview with the front of house audio engineer, and it's so horribly similar.
The Bataclan Club in Paris. Yeah.
Dude,
what do you do?
What you're like trapped. They're coming at you. Yeah. Like you don't know what's happening. Yeah. How do you even register it?
Yeah. It's easy to plan for it, but when you're in it,
even if, look, at that festival, if you had planned it, you're not planning for it to come from 50 floors up.
Exactly.
That far.
You might think it would be local, right? As
a shooter
inside.
Gets in, right?
Yeah,
someone gets in.
He jumped the fence and he's in.
Active shooter. Here he is.
On site. We know where he is.
It's horrible, but
he's from 3/4 of a mile away.
That's the added nightmare, man.
And you don't know where it's coming from.
You don't know what's going on, where it's coming from. You can't even track it with your ears because it's bouncing. You just seen the results, and it's fucking seemingly never ending.
Yeah.
God.
There's something I do want to add though.
Please.
I've seen some police work that night that I would have never thought I would see.
Like what? That's interesting.
I've seen those cops in the same situation as us.
Just at work?
At work. Yeah. During the active shooting that they possibly knew where it was coming from or heard on the radio, whatnot. And I've seen those guys shielding people.
Really? Risking their own lives like that?
I've seen people, I've seen those cops shielding random people. I've seen that in my own eyes. You see people think about cops a certain way, or people, thank cops for the service and whatnot. You know what I mean? Like, you have multiple,
Sure, there's viewpoints from all sides.
Viewpoints of police work these days, you know what I mean?
Fair.
But I can't say for, like unequivocally, I've seen the best out of police work.
Let's talk about that for a second, about what that is. They're human beings as well. Their instincts, primal instincts, are fight or flight. They should be getting to safety themselves. And they're not paid. It's not like $1 million to go save this person.
Yeah, nope.
They're not.
A stranger.
This is a stranger. I'm putting myself in harm's way.
I need to take that person from here to here so she's safe.
Think about what that takes, man. You can train for it. You can say you're going to do it, but then seeing it happen in the moment.
They didn't have their guns out because they didn't know where to shoot or who to point at.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It might make it worse. You start firing indiscriminately.
Yep. They just took those people and shielding them to go from one place to the other. And I was like, fuck.
You saw multiple instances of that. Like that.
Yes.
Think about what that is. Just, gratitude isn't even enough. A trophy is not enough. But money is not enough.
To protect and serve.
Yeah.
I saw those guys protect.
To do that in that scenario, man.
Yeah, I saw it, dude. I saw it.
It's such an instinctual thing. You can't think about it, right? You're just reacting to an unknown, horrible.
And there was another miracle story out of this. Stage left, same thing. We had a container that was our production office.
Okay.
And we had at that time inside of that production office.
Like a shipment container? Like
a shipment container
converted.
With AC.
Okay.
Right.
I've seen them converted, right?
Yes, we comfortable. Like it was our offices, you know what I mean. And inside of it was one of our production assistant. But she went through something that was a miracle.
Oh my God!
Think about a cartoon.
Okay.
Think about a guy shooting, and make Swiss cheese out of a container,
like a Looney Tunes style.
Right. There's no way she could be alive.
Just holes everywhere.
Holes
like
everywhere.
Pulp Fiction, like the scene in the apartment in Pulp Fiction.
Exactly. There's no possible way that she didn't get hit. She came back alive, untouched.
Was she the only one in there?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, she must have been terrified.
She to this day, I think she's still reeling from this.
Fuck me, man.
Yeah.
And then think about everybody there has their story from that.
Yes, sir.
Their horrible thing that they have to cope with,
yes, sir.
They have to take with them through the rest of their lives.
Yes, sir.
Can we talk about who was lost from the crew? I feel like that person deserves something.
It was one of the stagehands that was part of the Spots crew.
One of the Spot Ops?
Yes.
Like it was out there by the spotlight?
Yeah, there was a top Spot Towers.
God. That's horrible, man. It's horrible. You're just going to work.
Yep.
You're trying to provide entertainment. Mm-hmm. And now you're in this horrible scenario. There's a lot of companies now that do active shooter training. A lot of venues do it. But like you said, it's so unpredictable and so horrendous, man. And you just don't know what people are going to do in those situations until it happens. You don't know those cops are going to get themselves put in the middle.
Stephen, the active shooter thing is something that I think is the worst thing that could have happened in our society. I have 2 children.
No.
And for me to hear after the fact of what happened to me, to hear that my kids have to go, and I'm sure your kids do too, go through active shooter training is heartbreaking for me.
It's almost desensitizing in a weird way. You know what got me? That I found myself online looking at Kevlar bulletproof inserts for backpacks.
So have I.
And I'm like, am I seriously about
really
to buy my kids bulletproof shields to go to school? It was so hard to decide to buy it. Like, I get it, to buy it, maybe things happen. There you have it. You're glad to have it.
Yeah.
But I don't want them to be in a world where they think
this is the norm.
Their day to day.
Yeah, this is the norm.
Here's your bulletproof insert. Merry Christmas. Like, I remember looking at that website and really having a hard time with, like, people are buying this for their children. This is the world all of a sudden. And we have not been near anything. I mean, look, Parkland is nearby. I wasn't near it. I got nothing to do with it. It's all in America. These things happen.
Yeah.
It's an event. So that's my connection. The theater in France. It's a theater. So I feel that. haven't been near it, but the idea that it all hits so close to home, that we're all affected, is fucking horrible, man. I didn't mean to go on this route with it, but how do you not? Like, you've been through something so, like, people, like, it's soldiers, man. This is like, you've been through shit that soldiers have been through.
It's that's something that should have never happened.
Obviously.
And something that, you know, scarred me for life. You know, that's the truth. That's something that really scarred me for life. I keep going. You know, we all keep going. You know,
you got to.
I got affected.
What's the alternative?
Yeah, I got affected. So did hundreds and thousands of people.
But it doesn't diminish your experience, man. Like, your experience is singular, and you're someone that, I mean, that the story that most of those other people don't have is, you have to go back to other festivals. Not have to, but you are going to go back to other festivals. This is your career. This is your livelihood.
This is what
it's what you do.
This is what I do.
So you have to put yourself in very similar situations and tell yourself, no, that was a one-off. That shit won't happen again.
There's not one day when I go to a festival that I don't know where the nearest exit. Oh,
it's still near forever, right?
It's still there.
It's crazy to me. Like, it's horrible.
It's still there. And I see.
But it makes sense. I guess.
You know, the crazy part is that I went back, I want to say 3 years ago.
Really? First time back?
Not first time. I've kept on working, but I went back to Vegas.
That's what I'm saying. Back to that.
Yes. Not the same spot, because it's no longer...
They don't do it there. Okay, good.
It's not happening there.
They shouldn't. They can't.
A summer festival happened 3 years later that I had to go to.
Right.
And, you know...
It brought it all back up.
It brought it all back up.
Oh, my God, Sam. This is so horrible.
But hear that, you know what I mean? Like, we were, like, I would say the opposite side of town, you know what I mean? But with the same setting, open parking lots, you know, like big stage, you know, like massive attendance, whatnot. And this time around, they had snipers over the roofs.
Oh my God.
But I gotta tell you that, and again, I have shivers, you know, I'm just thinking about it.
I'm so tense right now.
Just not knowing, you know what I mean, if those guys were actually, you know, snipers,
right.
Like,
is it a guy in disguise,
or you know what I mean, like, and those guys,
anything's possible.
Those guys, they were all apartment buildings, you know what I mean, and we were so on edge, Steve. Like, it was so uncomfortable.
How could it not be?
You know what I mean? Like, and you could see people living in those apartment buildings, you know what I mean? So how do we know that any of those guys would not do the same thing?
Well, now you got to start thinking like that.
Yeah,
everybody's a possible suspect.
That's their house.
Everybody's
they're
a possible.
They're home.
Right. But you don't know.
You know, you don't know.
What do they got planned? What do they got going on? What are they stockpiling? What are they motivated by?
We were asking generally, like, hey, so who are these people on the roof? You know what I mean? Like, we're asking, you know, security, like, who are these guys? Like, hey, I see guns.
Right.
I see, you know what I mean? And they were like, yes, they are.
Ease my mind a little.
Like, help us out here. You know, you know who we are. It was the same company that was working with Ali. And so we're, quote unquote, unfortunately famous for being that, production company
that was there.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we had like legitimate, like, hey, help us out here. Like,
right. You know what we've been through.
Who's this? What's going on?
So you're back there with multiple people that had been there.
Yes.
It wasn't just you were the only one there. Like, this is the same company, same people,
yes,
a lot of
more or less.
A lot of the same people. Some of the same people is crazy.
Yes, it was like at least 3 or 4 of us. So, you know what I mean?
I feel like that makes it slightly better though. There's something about like trauma bonding and having like that shared.
Oh, dude, we are, you know, I mean, like, we have our yearly anniversary. October 1st is our yearly anniversary.
Really?
Where wherever we are, we buy a bottle of scotch. And then wherever we are, we either FaceTime or, you
check
know,
in with each other.
And then wherever the fuck we are, we like, hey, cheers.
Man.
That's our anniversary.
Like, right. So now you have to like recognize that was the day that could have been it. And you didn't sign up for any of it. Like, that's the other thing.
No,
it's so
that's not
senseless.
supposed to happen.
You didn't do anything to anybody.
That's not supposed
to happen. You didn't do anything to anybody. You're not the enemy. You weren't this guy's enemy. You don't fucking know this guy. He doesn't know you.
Nope.
It didn't matter then.
No.
Oh, that's so terrifying, man.
And we'll never know why.
No, we'll never know why.
And we'll never
Does it
know why.
matter? Who cares? The guy wanted carnage. He got it. That bastard. I'm glad he's dead. I'm glad you're not. I'm glad you survived it.
Thank you.
I'm glad the ones you were with survived it.
For the most part.
Right? God damn it.
Yep.
This is so difficult, man.
Yeah, it is.
I knew I wanted to touch upon the story, but I didn't realize it was going to have me with my shoulders up against my ears the whole time. Like I am covered in sweat.
It's okay. It's been like 6 years now.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Thank God. It's not long enough, I guess.
Yeah, I mean...
but I'm glad you're able to talk about it.
Yeah, now I feel like to talk about it.
It's got to be a little bit helpful to know. Yeah. Like it's a thing. It passed. It's behind you, but it's part of you.
They say time heals everything, but it takes sometimes a little bit longer. You know, like it's one thing, like it affected obviously my family because my kids were old enough to realize what had happened.
Did they hear about it before they heard from you?
They heard from the news before they could
Before they heard from you. So they're thinking, God, Dad might be, God almighty.
Yeah, because it happened around like 10:30, 11 p.m.
And then it's breaking news across the nation.
I'm 3 hours behind, so at the minute they woke up,
that's the news they wake up to.
That was the news they woke up to, and I was still unable to reach them.
How long until you could reach them?
It took, I think, a talk to my mom first.
All right.
Because my mom was actually 6 hours ahead.
She was aware of the story as well.
She was aware of the story.
And that you were there.
And she could not reach me, so I was able to talk to my mother first. Because she was already awake and aware of the news. She was in France at that time. And so it was plastered internationally.
Of course.
Like everybody
it's one of the worst things ever.
And so she was able to talk to me when in the morning Vegas time.
Oh my God.
And she was in turn able to call my partner and
let everybody know you're okay.
Let everybody know. Because I was still unable to make proper calls.
And even if you could, I can't imagine even talking. How do you even explain anything? Like without like breaking down the reality of what you almost lost, what was almost lost?
Dude,
like,
it was unreal.
Talking to your kids?
It was unreal. My kids were in tears because they understood.
Yeah,
they understood. You know what I mean?
Legitimate danger.
Yes,
how close
like
it was.
When you're 6 years old, you know what I mean? Like you get it. Something happened. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the news doesn't help it. Like they put it on a loop.
Of course, it's all just a story from afar.
But they knew that Papa was there.
Oh man! Yeah. See, that's the other thing too, right? Is how far-reaching it truly is.
Yeah,
it's not just something that happened to you and the people around you. It's everybody's extended families that had to sit and worry for countless hours. And then that phone call is so, how is it not so emotional?
Oh, I lost it.
Oh my God, dude.
I lost it. And we were all on no sleep because it was impossible for us to sleep.
You can't close your eyes.
It's impossible.
Like what else is playing through your head, man? Like avoid that. Yeah. Did you go start drinking or something? Were you trying to do something to did you guys just hang out and talk? Like how did you keep from?
We were not able to leave our rooms. Like all the hotels were locked down. You know what I mean? Like on that 2 or 3 blocks.
I get it, but it doesn't seem fair. It doesn't seem right. It seems like torture. They kept you at the site for hours.
And it was right in front of us. You know what I mean?
Now you're stuck in the site. Now go up there and look down upon it.
And then look at it. Yeah.
And you can't leave. Yeah. You can't drink yourself into a stupor. There's no escaping. You can't even contact your loved ones.
Nope.
God damn.
Yeah, it sucks.
It's so much worse than just the event itself. It's so many bad things.
It sucked.
It's so many bad things.
And when the FBI investigation was quote unquote over, they allowed vendors to go pick up the shit. So it was loadout time.
Did you do the loadout? No.
Hell no.
No. None of you guys did, right?
One of our guys did.
I mean, I could almost in some way see it to be healing for some people.
He said, I'll go. I was like, you know what? I respect that.
I don't think I would go. I don't think I would.
I'm not going.
I can almost confidently say I would not go.
And incredible things were transpired. You know what I mean? Like, you know what a 4-aught feeder is, right? You know how thick this thing is.
Heavy power cable.
You know, the amount of copper on a single run of feeder. You know what I mean? Yes, that cable got hit by a bullet and he exploded in a way that I don't know how, if you tried,
you could not reproduce that
until you put that high power rifle. Like I will share pictures with you of those things that he showed me. Like video walls were like completely destroyed because they got crippled. That's thin plastic, thin LED. That I understand. But feeder, something that dense,
sitting against the ground,
on the ground. You know what I mean? Like exploded like it was a piñata, dude. Like imagine flesh.
I'm trying not to.
People cannot understand until they realize
it's
what it does to a Pelican case. You know what I mean? Like compact, almost technically bulletproof plastic. To destroy a Pelican, dude, you have to go at it, my man.
You really got to try.
You gotta put everything you got.
Oh yeah, you can throw them. I mean, they're little anger devices.
You can even burn it if you want. You can try to burn it.
I've never really seen one damaged, man. They last forever.
They didn't guarantee for life because they're so confident that it's not going to get destroyed.
What are you going to do?
What can you possibly do to it?
Just it shows how unpredictable of a thing that whole thing was.
Yes, sir.
The details in that of what the cable did with the Pelican case, the container turning into Swiss cheese. And then going back to that site and seeing more things like that, looking at what the deck must have looked like. I can't imagine. You don't need to see that. You were under it. You don't need to see just how dire the situation.
That's how I find out.
How close you were.
That's how I find out, because I didn't know, how bad it was until he came back. My friend came back from loadout and be like, hey, look at where we were.
Look at the amount, just the amount of holes in everything.
8 3/4 plywood.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how you go through it. I don't know what you're supposed to do. I guess therapy. I guess talking is.
I did go to therapy.
Yeah,
I did. I did.
You got to get it out in a safe place.
That's the first thing that my employer back then say. Hey, don't do this alone.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's traumatic.
Don't do this alone. Don't try to put this aside. Yeah. We always tend to think in our lives that, oh, you know what? It only happens to others. Oh, it's in the news. It's in a different town. It's a different country.
Nobody's vertebrae is going to pop when they're in their 30s.
Exactly. It only happens to others.
Only somebody else.
Happens to you.
I'm invincible.
Yeah.
These kinds of things
that cannot happen here.
It won't happen to me.
Like,
these are stories.
Way.
These are other people.
This is the news.
Right.
Yeah.
But bam, it can happen to anybody.
It can happen to anybody.
It can change a dancer's career just like that.
Yes.
It can change your life in a moment
your perspective and your appreciation of simple things.
I mean, I wouldn't have blamed you if you changed careers that day.
Many people did.
I wouldn't. I don't blame any of them.
People did.
That's a hard thing to.
Many people did
to put yourself back into.
Yep. No matter how eye-opening that was, I can only, if your listeners want to hear more of this, oh
my God,
appreciate everything you have.
Yep.
Cherish everything that you've accomplished, but be aware.
Yeah.
Be aware.
But that should make you appreciate it even more. I feel like this all is, it's not even how I meant it, but it is all tying together in the community that is built with this business, within the arts. You guys supported each other. And again, one of the worst crimes, horrendous things to happen in American history. You guys were still there for each other.
Yeah.
A lot of you return to the craft because there is still so much to gain and love about it. It's still about it. You're going out tomorrow. I'm
flying out to do another big 18,000 person plus concert tomorrow.
You didn't stop you. We move on.
That's what we do.
Even in the face of something that's comparable to war.
That's what we do.
Man.
That's what we do.
Sam, I think this is where we stop it, buddy. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
I appreciate the opportunity to voice it. I don't do it often.
No.
And most people that know me not necessarily know that story.
No, I think
what I mean? Because that's not something that I broadcast. What I mean?
How often do you want to talk about it? How often do you want to relive it?
I never do.
Thank you so much for doing that here with me, man. I appreciate the confidence and the trust.
Thank you.
Like you to know, and I think it's an important story. And I do think it frames out everything. It shows your confidence of moving from France to be a dancer and getting it and moving forward and finding what you wanted and adjusting and going ahead and ahead. even through something like this, we keep living and we appreciate it and we respect what we're doing, man.
Yes,
Sammy.
yes.
Dude, thank you so much, man.
It's a very deep story of mine, you know what I mean? That, you know what I mean? I appreciate the opportunity to be able to, you know, like, I don't want to say safely relive it, but in a way I can relive it in a way that I'm not going to go back to that rabbit hole that I went through.
Well, what I do is I hope to see you again soon.
Of course.
Even if it's not in this environment, let's go get dinner, do something. Let's hang out. Let's connect.
Let's hang out, dude. It was so good to see you.
Let's do a show together.
Yes.
Let's get out there, man.
Actually, speaking of which, let's go offline and talk about business.
Let's see what we can do, buddy. All right, Sammy. Thank you so much. This was amazing. Awesome.
Thank you.
Holy crap. All right, there we go, huh? I mean, it's heavy, right? So yeah, again, thank you, Sam, for sharing that. And thank you all for listening through it. Again, it is an important story. It's a piece of history here, you know, and I think it's good for us all to hear and all to know what took place that day. You know, I make this show to share the stories of this career, this industry, this life, this live event world. And you know, aiming for more of the humorous or the, you know, awe-inspiring or unbelievable type of stories. But there are the negative stories that come up, and they have come up and they will continue to come up. This episode is one of those episodes. Well, all right. Thank you again. And I will hopefully have some more for you soon, everybody. Please get me to keep doing this more by leaving a nice review, one of those 5-star, you know, it takes a second, click the 5 stars and show me that you're listening and show me that there's an audience out there for this. Yeah, leave a review, write me an email, tell me how much you are, you know, looking forward to where this thing leads. Remember, standby at standby2standby.org is where you can do that. I'd love to share it. I'm going to find new ways to do this. It won't always, I guess, be a sit-down one-on-one. I might do segmented recordings for episodes. We're going to find a way to keep it going. So yeah, leave those reviews, respond, reach out. Let me know what you're thinking and that I'm not insane for trying to take on too much at once here. Love doing this. I really do. I'm just saying a yes to a lot lately and spreading myself a little thin, but I don't want to make that an excuse or any excuses anymore. I can't wait to start an episode without apologizing for being late and asking for forgiveness and justifications of why this is not the best that it could be. Again, I'm trying. I'm trying my best. Well, I'm maybe not my best, but I am trying. I am, and I will continue to try. And I hope you will continue to try to be there with me. All right, everybody, stay busy out there. Get that work done. I hope everyone's doing great. I hope their departments are fully staffed and people are on time and you guys are getting work done and putting on great shows. Here's to everyone putting on some more great shows this year. And thank you again, everybody. Thank you again, Sam. And I will talk to you all soon. Thanks again, everybody.